is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
All right, according to my team, Shahu and Ryan and Tony and John and Parker and Linda Peterson, I love you so much. I have so much love, it actually stinks. I reek of love. I always talk about the healing powers to soothe the soul. Yes, the author of Wango Tango actually optimizes the healing powers that is available to everyone. And this time of year, I am out. I got some mad scientist friends. All my friends are mad scientists. My bass player is a mad scientist of groove. My drummer is a mad scientist of throttle. My mechanic is a mad scientist of horsepower and torque. And Nikki and Aaron at Whitetail Products Gone Wild. Go to whitetailproductsgonewild.com. I am so soothed. My soul is so cleansed and balanced because I spend all my time digging my fists into the dirt, which is why my guitar playing is sexier than everybody else's. They don't spend enough time digging their 10 digits of doom into the good Mother Earth's bosom. So Whitetail Products Gone Wild. And also we're going to create, my team will create in post-production, DeerNecessity.com. These mad scientists are creating these nutritional supplemental gonzo feed sources and food plots for wildlife. And I got to tell you, I'm a hyper guy. In fact, I got a guy coming on who's witnessed my hyper outrage that is the source of the best music in the world. So go to DeerNecessity.com. My guys will put it on there. Right now, I'm a lucky son of a... I've got Bob Leonard, who is the original vocalist, showman, tambourine Godzilla of the Amboy Dukes 1965. Bob, have I told you how I'm so glad that you are here sobbing in my mug of beer? Are you so happy you were an Amboy Duke? Rob Leonard, I love you.
Oh, yeah. Love you too, man. Good to see you.
Tell them about running into each other in line at the cellar, listening to the Shadows of Night play Gloria, and how you and I created the Amboy Dukes, and we showed those sons of bitches how to really play Gloria. Tell them about it.
That's right. Yeah, I'm standing in a line at the cellar, the original cellar. Did you see the picture that I sent you just recently of a picture of us at the second cellar?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
That was the night that I had to remove your finger from a string. Do you remember your finger getting caught? Your calluses were so deep and thick that you got stuck on one of the strings, and I had to turn around and pull your finger off the string. You looked at me like, that was an experience.
So, what we did is we were inspired just uncontrollably by the spirit of what Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, as they conveyed the origins of blues, Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and Lightnin' Hopkins and B.B. King and Freddie King. And we as white punks in the suburbs, we felt that soulfulness immediately. And what you did as a vocalist, what were you, just turned 16 at the time? I was just turned 16.
Yeah, we were
explain to the people. Yeah, explain to the people how that takes you over and it inspires the most important attribute of mankind, a work ethic. We practice every day and we put our heart and soul into it. Robert Leonard, here it is 2025. This is 60 some years later. You're still doing it. Explain how I've explained the motivation, the inspiration to keep doing it in those early days when we didn't know what it was, but we knew we had to do it.
That's exactly right. We were just inspired by the need to create, to be something, to express ourselves. And luckily we found the commonality of the music. There we are.
Look at those guys.
It just spoke to us. And, I've never stopped. Just like you, we couldn't stop. It was impossible.
And how about, Bob, in our such young, we hadn't really developed. We obviously had chosen a musical adventure, but Gary Hicks on rhythm guitar, Cherry ES335 through a Sears Phil Silvertone amp, Dick Treat on bass guitar, who originally was a guitar player, but we needed a bass player, so we cut off the strings and put on bass strings, Gail Uptodale on the drums. We were just basically clueless white guys that immediately understood the attraction. You said it was a calling of what that soulful, defiant, uppity, outrageous, unprecedented, high energy rock and roll. And God, did we put our hearts and soul into it? We took over the Chicago, Illinois area in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it continued on for 2.5, almost 3 years, and then you kept going. Of course, you know what I think part of it was hormones. They were sprouting like crazy in us at that time, of course. Yeah, and so
if you see Old Faithful, that's almost as powerful as my hormone eruption on an hourly basis. But you're still doing it. Tell us what Robert Leonard is doing, my original Amboy Duke. By the way, I say I love you. I really mean that. You have kept your quality of life, your integrity, your soulfulness, your spirit, your pursuit of definitive musical integrity. I know you can't stop it. It's who you are. But here it is 60-some years later. Tell us what you're doing and the joys and the gratification of communicating with the audience that we learned as kids with the Amboy Dukes.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, because I'm not so blessed to be able to have an audience that really is there just for me and wants to see me, I call it musical masturbation. I have to play for myself quite a bit, you know, but I do have, every time I do that, I have fans. I have people who like me. I always get compliments, and I keep telling people, you know, I better be good. I've been doing it this long. You know, I mean, you can't keep being asked to play if you're not good enough. So here I am, you know, still playing, gigging, and thanks to you, when we connected the last time you were down here in Tampa at the Hard Rock, you invited me to come up on stage, which was a kind of a pivotal moment to a certain degree, because they called me up and said, hey, you know, why don't you come play for us? And so I've been playing there every 5 or 6 weeks now, going down and rocking out the Hard Rock. I don't get the Hard Rock out in the way we did. I'm playing in the steak room a lot, and so I'm being kind of, I don't know, the other side of me, the mellower side of me, but I get to kick ass every now and then.
You know what I've been, I do stuff in such a different way, you think? But I'm the only guy in the industry that has harped and constantly promoted and reminded people of something that nobody else in the industry talks about, which is just a monster, a component of our musical dream, and that is work ethic. We practiced like maniacs, and to this day, I'm 77 this year. You're the same age, aren't you, Bob?
Yeah, I'll be 76 in September.
I know you always respected your elders, but talk for a moment about the inescapable drive that is a work ethic, so that when you do get on stage, and you might not have an audience that came to see Bob Leonard, you're at a facility or on a cruise, but you own them after a few minutes because you have honed your craft through an incredible American work ethic. I salute you for that, but wax poetic about that for a minute, because that really is the core of our favorite music, work ethic. They hone it, they work at it.
Oh yeah, I can. Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's certain of us need perfection as close as we can get to it. In other words, we won't settle for just being able to, you know, crank it out or whatever, make noise. We want it to be tight. And we were lucky. We were a tight band. We just, one of those things, the universe came together and we all had that feeling of, okay, music's got to be tight. And if it's not tight, it's not going to work. And I remember Gary Hicks's basement. I mean, we were no more than 3 feet from each other practicing in that basement. But then we got to go to Gail's house, which we got spread out a little bit in his basement. But yeah, it was always about being tight, you know, making sure that we were lucky. We were lucky that we all had that desire to be that strong and tight and work at it and keep working at it and want to be at practice. I wanted to be at practice more than anything. And I feel like everybody else did too, for the most part.
Well,
So
here it
that
is
maybe
68 years later for me when I started in Detroit in 1957, 1958. We just rehearsed for upcoming concerts. I'm still doing concerts. I don't tour because I'm not going to go to a hotel. I'm never going to a hotel ever again. I'm never going through TSA ever again. But Bob Leonard, I love you. God bless you. You brought such great fortification and happiness to my musical dreams. And you're right. The tightness. We were inspired. We wouldn't have said it back then, but now I say it every day to my band. We're auditioning for James Brown. It's got to be snappy. It's got to be soulful. It's got to be tight. So thanks for joining me here, because what an incredible, happy trail you and I have shared when we created the Amboy Dukes. I love you. If anybody gets a chance to go see Bob Leonard, he plays around Florida and around the Southeast mostly. But if you see the name Bob Leonard, you're going to get the real McCoy. Thanks for joining me here, Bob. And I'm going to keep in touch. Yeah, go ahead.
My professional name now, because nobody can spell Leonard, is France. So I'm known as Robert France in the area.
Robert France. If you get to see Robert France, you'll see the original Amboy Duke. Bob, I love you. Carry on. Thanks for joining us. Everybody here at Real America's Voice. I am the Real America's Voice. God, family, country, Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, Declaration of Independence, goodwill and decency, work ethic, law and order, self-defense, freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of Gonzo happiness. I will see you here on Real America's Voice next week. Tune in to Shemaine Nugent's Faith and Freedom, and spread the word. Join us at hunternation.org, because it all comes down to voting for constitutional, conservative, conservation representation in the United States government. My name is Ted Nugent, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I'm having so much fun. It ain't right. I love you people. Live it up.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my